Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually read your resume? Not just updated the date or added your latest position, but really read what it says about you. Because some of us have 10, 15, 20 years of experience. And then we put together a resume that makes it sound like all we did was show up and complete some tasks. Meanwhile, you trained people, you mentored people, you solved problems nobody else could figure out, you handled escalations, you kept things moving when your manager wasn't there, you helped somebody learn their job, you created processes, you led projects, you delivered results. Your resume says responsible for? No, ma'am. Your resume should tell me what happened because you were there. That's what we're talking about today on Career Elevation. We're not creating some fake version of you to impress an employer. We're learning how to recognize the value that's already there and communicated. Because sometimes the problem isn't that you don't have enough experience. Sometimes you're simply not telling your story. Here's the difference. If you tell me, I was responsible for training employees, I know what your assignment was. But what did you actually do? Did you train 20 new employees? Did you create training materials? Did you coach struggling employees? Did your training help somebody become successful faster? That is the story. And this is where I see experienced professionals minimize themselves all the time. We've done something for so long that we stop realizing it's a skill. You say, oh, everybody came to me when something went wrong. Okay, why? Because you knew how to solve it. That's problem solving. That's subject matter expertise. That's leadership. That's trust. Stop throwing away valuable experience simply because nobody formally put it in your job title. Same job, same person, same experience. But when you communicate the impact instead of just the responsibility, it's a completely different story. So, how do we fix it? First, lead with impact. Tell me what you accomplished, improved, created, changed, or delivered. Use stronger language. And when you have numbers, use them. How many employees? How large was the team? How many customers? How much money? What percentage increased? How much time did you save? Numbers give your experience scale. And please tailor your resume to the opportunity. Your resume doesn't need to contain every single thing you've ever done. It needs to make the experience most relevant to that position easy to see. Then proofread it. Your resume is introducing you when you're not in the room. Think about that. Before you shake their hand, before you answer an interview question, before they hear your personality, this document may be speaking for you. Make sure it's saying what you want it to say. And that's why I built Career Elevation. I don't believe everybody needs to start over. Sometimes you need somebody to help you uncover what you've already built. Maybe your resume needs work. Maybe your LinkedIn doesn't represent where you're trying to go. Maybe interviews make you nervous. Or maybe you're sitting there thinking, I know I want something different, but I don't even know what different looks like. That's where strategy comes in. Career elevation isn't about me telling you what your career should be. It's about us looking at where you've been, where you are now, and where you want to go, and figuring out how to connect those dots because you've already built the experience. Now let's present it like the asset that it is. Quick commercial break because I want to show you something. If you only know me from Career Elevation, you're only seeing one piece of MsKnowledge. My website is the home for everything I'm building. You'll find Career Elevation, but you'll also find my books and stories, daily truths, my blog, products, events, and other resources I've created around growth, purpose, and elevation. So while you're taking this quick break, let me show you what's waiting for you at MsKnowledgeOfficial.net. I didn't want to build a website that was just a bunch of pages telling you about me. I wanted to create something useful for you. Maybe you're working on your career, maybe you're building a business, maybe you're rebuilding yourself. Maybe you need something encouraging to read that morning, or maybe you simply want to shop with a Black woman owned brand that's building something from the ground up. There's something here for different parts of your journey. That's why I say one website, many ways to grow. You can come for career elevation and discover a book. Come for a daily truth and find a blog that speaks directly to something you're experiencing. Come to shop and discover an event. That's intentional because we're not one dimensional people. Career, purpose, personal growth, entrepreneurship, confidence, healing, and legacy can all exist in the same life, and they all have a home here. This isn't about building a website just so I can say I have one, because it's a lot of work. I'm building a community and a platform that can continue growing with us. As I learn, I teach. As I build, I share. As I create new resources, I bring them here. Because knowledge is power, elevation is the goal, and legacy is the mission. The events give us opportunities to connect in person, and the shop supports products and resources created from this same journey. I don't believe we're one dimensional people. You don't stop being a mother when you walk into work. You don't stop being an entrepreneur because you have a 9 to 5. You don't stop having dreams because life got difficult. And you certainly don't lose your value because one company, one manager, one recruiter, or one situation failed to recognize it. Your career is part of your life. It is not the measurement of your growth. So, yes, we're going to work on careers, but we're also going to talk about building a life that your career supports. So, that's your invitation. Explore it, read something, check out Career Elevation, read the daily truths, look through the books, visit the shop, see what events are coming. Find the part of the platform that speaks to where you are right now. You can find it all at MsKnowledgeOfficial.net. Now, back to career elevation. Wait, before we get back to our final career elevation message, I have to give Root Authority a little love. Root Authority hair growth oil came from my own journey. I wanted something I could consistently use as part of caring for my scalp and hair, so I created it. It's formulated with oils and ingredients including rosemary, fenugreek, cold pressed castor oil, jojoba, grapeseed, squalane, pumpkin seed oil, vitamin E, peppermint, tea tree, and lavender. And consistency is the key. Root Authority isn't about pretending your hair changes overnight. It's about developing a routine and giving your hair and scalp consistent care. Because whether we're talking about your hair or your career, growth requires you to keep showing up. That's root authority, authority over your hair, power in your roots. Now, let's bring this right back to your career. One of the biggest things I want you to stop saying is, I don't want to start over. I used to always say that. But listen, who said you're starting over? You're bringing everything with you. You're bringing the leadership, you're bringing the communication skills, You're bringing the lessons from the mistakes. You're bringing the relationships you've built. You're bringing everything you learned from the good managers and the terrible ones. You're bringing the confidence you didn't have 20 years ago. You're bringing the ability to recognize what you will and will not tolerate. That's not starting over. That's called leveling up. Maybe your next chapter requires a different resume. Maybe it requires learning something new. Maybe it means finally applying for the position you've been talking yourself out of. Maybe it means asking for more money. Your next move doesn't have to make sense to everybody watching you. It has to make sense for the life that you are building. And that's where we're ending Monday's career elevation. You don't need permission to want more. You don't have to shrink your experience to make somebody else comfortable. And you don't have to stay somewhere you've outgrown simply because you've invested years there. Start with clarity. What do I want? Then strategy. What needs to happen for me to get there? Then action. What can I do right now to move one step closer? And then we elevate. If you need help along the way, Career Elevation offers resume refresh, cover letters, LinkedIn reviews, interview prep, and career strategy. But whether you work with me or do it yourself, don't leave this video without remembering one simple thing. Your experience has value. Stop waiting for somebody else to recognize it before you do. Present your own experience, own your accomplishments, tell your story, and walk into your next chapter knowing you didn't come this far just to stay exactly where you are. You can, you will, watch me. And now it's your turn to give them something to watch.